Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal, yet profoundly universal, the concept of half-love. Love is one of the most transformative forces in our lives, yet sometimes we settle for something far less than what we deserve, a relationship that feels like it's only half there. The power of wholeness in relationships cannot be overstated. When we engage in connections that are built on partial commitment or half-hearted love, we unintentionally place ourselves in a state of emotional imbalance. These relationships can feel like walking on shaky ground, always uncertain, always incomplete. They create a dynamic where trust becomes conditional, vulnerability feels risky, and emotional safety is almost non-existent. Yet many of us find ourselves stuck in these patterns, accepting less than we deserve because we mistake fragments of affection for the real thing. Authentic relationships thrive on the foundation of wholeness. Wholeness in this context means showing up fully and completely, not only for the other person, but for yourself as well. It requires both parties to be present emotionally, physically, and mentally. A whole relationship does not mean perfection, rather, it means a shared willingness to navigate the imperfections of life together. When two people commit to bringing their whole selves to a relationship, they create an environment where mutual respect, understanding, and trust can flourish. Half-love, on the other hand, is a breeding ground for insecurity and self-doubt. It often leaves one partner questioning their worth or wondering if they are too much or not enough. This constant questioning is emotionally exhausting and can chip away at a person's self-esteem over time. When someone loves you half-heartedly, they are not truly investing in the relationship, and this lack of investment prevents it from growing into something meaningful or sustainable. In contrast, wholehearted love empowers us. It allows us to be vulnerable without fear of judgment. It creates a safe space where we can express our needs, fears, and dreams, knowing that we will be met with compassion and support. This type of connection requires both people to do the inner work of understanding themselves and their emotional landscapes. It involves communicating openly, setting clear boundaries, and holding each other accountable with kindness and respect. Another critical aspect of wholeness in relationships is the impact it has on personal growth. Whole love encourages growth, while half-love often stifles it. When you are in a relationship where both individuals are fully invested, you are not just surviving, you are thriving. The relationship becomes a partnership where both people can explore their potential, take risks, and pursue their passions with the assurance that someone is in their corner, cheering them on. When we talk about the power of wholeness, it's essential to recognize that this also applies to how we view ourselves. Often, the relationships we choose mirror the relationship we have with ourselves. If we see ourselves as unworthy or lacking, we are more likely to accept half-hearted love. But when we embrace our inherent worth, we naturally gravitate towards connections that reflect that belief. Wholeness in love requires courage. It asks us to set aside our fear of rejection and demand more, not out of arrogance, but because we know we deserve it. When we choose wholeness, we choose a love that builds us up rather than breaks us down. It is this kind of love that changes lives, strengthens communities, and brings out the best in us. Self-respect and boundaries are foundational to building healthy, fulfilling relationships. In the context of love, accepting half-hearted affection from others often reflects an underlying challenge in how we view our worth and the standards we set for ourselves. When we fail to establish clear boundaries and demand the respect we deserve, we inadvertently teach others how to treat us. This dynamic not only diminishes the quality of the relationship, but also undermines our sense of self-worth over time. The act of self-respect begins with recognizing your inherent value. It means understanding that you are worthy of love, care, and attention, not because of what you can do for someone else, but simply because you exist. Many people settle for less than they deserve because they fear loneliness or rejection, but this mindset creates a cycle of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. When you prioritize your self-respect, you send a clear message: you will not tolerate being treated as an afterthought or an option. This isn't about arrogance, it's about honoring your own humanity. Boundaries, on the other hand, are the tools that allow us to maintain self-respect within our relationships. They are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines to ensure that interactions remain respectful and mutually beneficial. Healthy boundaries define what is acceptable and what isn't, creating a framework for open communication and understanding. For example, if someone consistently fails to prioritize your time or emotions, setting a boundary might involve expressing how their behavior impacts you and what you need from them moving forward. When we fail to set boundaries, we often find ourselves stuck in one-sided relationships where we are giving far more than we receive. This imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and a sense of being unappreciated. Moreover, it reinforces the idea that your needs are secondary to those of others, which can further erode your self-esteem. By contrast, maintaining boundaries allows you to advocate for yourself and ensures that your relationships are built on mutual respect and care. One of the most challenging aspects of self-respect and boundary setting is the fear of how others will react. It can feel risky to assert your needs or to say no, especially if you've spent much of your life putting others first. However, true connection cannot thrive in the absence of authenticity. If someone values you, they will respect your boundaries. If they don't, their unwillingness to honor your needs is a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Another crucial element of self-respect is learning to recognize when a relationship no longer aligns with your values or emotional well-being. This can be incredibly painful, particularly if you've invested time and energy into trying to make it work. But staying in a situation where you are undervalued only perpetuates the cycle of half-love. Letting go of such relationships is an act of self-love. It creates space for healthier, more fulfilling connections that affirm your worth. Self-respect and boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about taking responsibility for your own emotional health. They empower you to show up as your best self and to seek relationships that enhance your life rather than diminish it. By respecting yourself and honoring your needs, you create a foundation for love that is whole, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. Embracing courage and letting go of half-hearted love is one of the most profound acts of self-respect and growth a person can undertake. It requires strength to confront the reality that not all relationships are meant to last, and that some connections, while comforting in their familiarity, may be holding us back from the love we truly deserve. Letting go is never easy, but it is often necessary to create space for relationships that honor our worth and align with our deepest needs. The first step in this journey is acknowledging the truth. When we are caught in the grip of a half-hearted relationship, we often rationalize the other person's behavior or minimize our own needs to avoid discomfort. We tell ourselves that some love is better than none, clinging to the scraps of affection we receive rather than facing the pain of letting go. But this mindset keeps us trapped in a cycle of emotional dissatisfaction, where we settle for less because we fear there may not be more. Acknowledging the truth means recognizing the signs of a one-sided relationship and admitting that staying in it is doing more harm than good. Letting go requires courage because it involves stepping into the unknown. The end of a relationship, no matter how incomplete or flawed, often brings feelings of loss and grief. We mourn not only the person but also the dreams and expectations we had tied to them. Yet it is in this space of uncertainty that growth happens. When we release what no longer serves us, we make room for new opportunities, new connections, experiences, and forms of love that align with our values and aspirations. Part of the courage to let go comes from trusting in your own resilience. It's about believing that you have the strength to face the pain of letting go and emerge stronger on the other side. This doesn't mean denying or suppressing your emotions. It means allowing yourself to feel them fully, to sit with the discomfort, and to learn from it. Every ending teaches us something about ourselves, about what we want in a partner, and about the kind of love we are capable of giving and receiving. Letting go of half-love is also an act of faith in the idea that you are worthy of more. When you release someone who cannot or will not love you fully, you are affirming your own worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. This act of self-love sets a powerful precedent for the future. It teaches you to prioritize your own emotional well-being and to seek relationships that uplift and inspire you. Finally, letting go paves the way for transformation. When you free yourself from the weight of a half-hearted relationship, you open yourself to possibilities you might never have imagined. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and reclaim the energy you were pouring into a relationship that was not serving you. This newfound freedom allows you to focus on your own growth, pursue your passions, and build connections that are grounded in mutual respect, care, and commitment. In the end, letting go of half-love is not about giving up on love. It's about choosing love. It's about choosing the kind of love that nourishes your soul and challenges you to be your best self. It's about believing that you are worthy of a love that is whole, complete, and real. And that belief, more than anything, is what will guide you toward the love you truly deserve.